This is the last Uncharted review for a while. The last time we will probably see the legendary treasure hunter, Nathan Drake. Let's start the review. Nathan Drake has been on 4 adventures before this. One of them, I have not played before, is Uncharted Golden Abyss for the PS Vita, because I do not own a PS Vita. He has seen the treasure of El Dorado, found Shangri-La, and found the city of Dubar. He has done all of this and is now married and retired from the treasure hunting business. Years back, Nate is living in the St. Francis orphanage. He's visited by his brother Sam, who was kicked out from criminal activities. After helping him sneak out, Sam tells Nate he's leaving for a job that'll keep him away from a few years, before cheering him up by telling him that he knows where their late mother's effects were sold. Wait a minute. Before I do anything, I have to do the character reel. Oh yes, the character reel. Character reel is a new thing I'm doing for any time, in any game. If the characters wear like a suit or like something fancy, I'll do a character reel with a song.
And as long as I got my suit and tie, I'ma leave it all on the floor tonight. And you got fixed up to the nines, let me show you a few things. All dressed up in black and white, and you're dressed in that dress I like.
Returning characters, a new jerk and his associate, Maddie and Ross, and a brother Nate thought was dead, Samuel Drake. Let's continue. Uncharted now looks better than it ever has. With the jump to the PS4, you can practically see every hair on every person's head. The models look so much better than they did before, and Uncharted 4 also has seamless cutscenes, which means that it goes directly to gameplay. No black screen, no fade, just a clean jump. It looks awesome and really realistic. Not like hyper realistic. I mean, I guess it kind of is, but it's not that far, but it's pretty realistic. The game just looks really good. There's awesome music and everything just really looks good. It really holds up, and I think it will hold up for the next few years until it's a really high graphics, or like the game, if the models look really good in the future, but I'm pretty sure this will hold up for a little while. Climbing remains a huge staple gameplay feature, but now with more details in terms of animation. Nate is equipped with a collapsible grappling hook, allowing him to swing to new areas and avoid enemy fire, or allow him to close gaps and attack enemies. It can also be used to rappel down rock faces. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who noticed this, but Nate seems way more flexible. He climbs over objects more smoothly, and he just seems like an expert at parkour. Also, someone give him a medal for the fastest good drawer ever. I mean, look at this. Melee combat appears more dynamic, with enemies being able to counter Nate's attacks and attempt to use weapons during fistfights. Enemies pulled from ledges will now attempt to grab him. You can force them off or be dragged down with them. Stealth has been revamped. Nate can now hide in bushes, and by breaking the line of sight with all enemies, Nate can return to stealth, unlike the other games which force the player to kill all the enemies in the area to proceed. Also, a lot of fights are avoidable now, which is kind of cool. I mean, you don't even have to do some of the fights. I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to avoid them, but it's possible. Vehicles return to the series, fully drivable for the first time since the jet ski in Uncharted Drake's Fortune. As opposed to the minor control of Elena's Jeep from Uncharted 2 Drake's Deception, vehicles consist of jeeps and a motorboat, with multiple paths and destructible environments, and much more dynamic scenarios. Nate can hijack vehicles when they are in transit and attack enemies who try to jump onto his Jeep. Uncharted 4 also has a dialogue option system. This has been implemented by Naughty Dog to allow players to influence conversation, such as referring to events from previous games that meant the most to individual players. The game was announced on November 14, 2013. With the revelation that the game was being written by Uncharted series writer Amy Hennig, who would also serve as creative director. Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception director Justin Richmond was also confirmed as the game's director. Actor Todd Stashwick was confirmed to be portraying Sam in the game, and had provided a voiceover for the announcement trailer.
Be there, sifting through the wreckage. You owe me.
However, Hennig and Richmond left Naughty Dog during the game's development cycle in March 2014. Stashwick left 1 month later in April. The game was officially revealed at the end of Sony's 2014 E3 press conference, the short trailer that revealed its full title. Naughty Dog later revealed that the game would run at a resolution of 1080p and that they're targeting 60 frames per second. They also confirmed that the entire trailer was rendered in real time on a single PlayStation 4, ending their previous techniques of pre-rendering cutscenes. The game faced 3 delays. Initially, it was due to come out in late 2015. Then it was delayed to March 18th, 2016. Then the game was announced to be coming out March 18, 2016. Then again later delayed to April 25th, 2016. And before it again was delayed to the final release date of May 10th, 2016. Through all of this, Nate goes through Italy, Africa, and Scotland. It was also lied to by his brother. You see, Sam told Nate that he was busted out of jail and prison by Hector Alcazar, but it turns out that Rafe let him out. But Sam was required to get Henry's treasure for him. Oh yeah, he also did all of this. No big deal. Just exploded or fell off a clock tower. No big deal. Pretty much every day. Elena agrees to help Nate save Sam, as he no longer cares about the treasure. And oh yeah, Elena's in this too. On the way to New Devon, they discuss Rafe's and Nadine's motivations. Rafe wants to build his own reputation, while Nadine wants to repair that of her family and company. Additionally, Nate and Elena begin to come to a true understanding to repair their relationship for good. Arriving in New Devon, Nate and Elena learn that the founders had started fighting amongst themselves. In Tu's house, they discover the corpses of most of the founders, and learn that Tu and Avery poisoned the others to keep the treasure from themselves. Arriving at Avery's house, they enter its catacombs, and after avoiding numerous traps, the couple finally reconciled fully. They subsequently arrive at a ship graveyard, where they save Sam from shoreline, and Sully saves Nate. Though Nate seems to convince Sam to give up, and changes his mind after they are separated. The 3 try to follow him, but Elena and Sully are soon unable to continue, forcing Nate to go alone. He eventually arrives at the cavern containing Avery's ship and the treasure, where he sees Rafe force a reluctant Nadine, who is satisfied with the smaller caches and wary of Avery's traps, to finish the job. Soon after, a triggered trap collapses an explosion on beam onto the ship, which Sam is crushed under. Though Rafe has Nadine disarm Nate, she then turns on him, pointing out the corpses of Avery and Tu, who killed each other over the treasure. She leaves the 3 of them behind on the burning ship while she flees. Fed up with the Drakes and wants to end Nate and have the treasure for himself, Rafe engages Nate in a duel using Avery and Tu's swords, which ends with Nate dropping a net full of gold on top of him, crushing him to death. Nate creates another explosion that floods the room, allowing him to free Sam, and they return to their friends and leave in Sully's plane. Nate and Elena return home, while Sam and Sully decide to partner up. A few years down the line, Nate and Elena have a child, which Nate tells the story to his daughter, Cassie Drake. Or Casey, I don't remember. Also, you get to play Crash Bandicoot. So yeah, bonus. Well, this concludes the monthly Uncharted video series. If you want more Uncharted content, why don't you subscribe? And I'll see you in the next video.